Hi, my name is Caleb Ballou, and I play keys at Emmanuel Christian Center. So I've been playing piano since I was 6 years old. My grandmother got me upright piano because she wanted to start playing piano at our house, and I just kind of latched onto the piano very quickly. My parents were like, "You need piano lessons." So I started there, just like basic any other student, and I remember it was like a church revival when I was around 8 or 9 that an evangelist came out to me and it was like, "You're going to be anointed for worship." And that was at that moment that my piano ability kind of spiked in a way that's unnatural. Music started making more sense to me. I became a lot more passionate about music. I got involved in a church when I was like 12 or 14, latched on to that very quickly. From there, I kept progressing. God kept expanding my talent. When we moved here to Minnesota, when I was around 18, I got plugged into a church called Emmanuel. And from there, I learned synth stuff, got involved with album process making, which was a really cool experience. So right now I'm considered a keys coach at Emmanuel. I'm in charge of around 5 to 10 keys players at Emmanuel, and I'm there to facilitate them spiritually whenever they need me for, and just help the keyboardists at Emmanuel grow musically as well, so that we're all on the same page, and just wherever they need me in that aspect, I'm there to help. I also play there as well at the Maple Grove campus. So one of the things that's unique about the way we do it is that throughout the Wednesdays and Sundays that we play, we're always writing live. So Mark Allen, our creative director, will post a song for that Sunday saying, "Hey, this is a new song, try to create parts for it as best as you can." And we'll just try to create ideas that we want to think of, and we'll play them that Wednesday or Sunday. And Mark will then look at it and say, "Hey, I like this idea, I don't like this idea." And we'll continually build the song as we play it. And then by the time the album's recorded, we'll have enough parts and we'll have enough structure to that we can just record. So it's not like we have a core people. Usually there's like a core people who write the songs and we record it. It's more of like 2 or 3 people write the songs and then the whole church arranges. So it's kind of unique that we can just unify everyone in the whole album process and everyone gets a part in that. Yeah, so like there's a couple songs for the new album that's gonna be coming out very soon where I had part in writing lyrically. I've had part in writing piano lines, chords, just little snippets, but it's really cool that I have a little bit of part just as much as someone else does. Playing them live is just as fun. It's like a worship service. It's nothing different, except that you just know what you're playing rather than just freestyling it. So there are still worship moments in a live recording. We just kind of plan where they're going to happen, if that makes any sense. So like, instead of saying, "Oh, I guess we're going to worship now," it's like, or I guess we're just going to go into a spontaneous time of worship. We're going to say, "Here's a moment, and let's see what happens during this moment." And that's usually what happens in albums. So it's a little more controlled, and we can capture that a lot better. Now, One Accord's going to be talking.
My name is Andrew Pale. I am currently a member of One Accord 2016. The one thing I could think of is that, like, Jake listens to Drake sometimes, if I do. But I think Jesus would be down for that too. So towards the beginning of the semester, we had a period where we were just trying to get to know each other and try to get to know his music stuff. I'll kind of break down the stages, I guess, a little bit of how it goes. And then after that, we play in chapel once or twice, just trying to get the feel for each other a little bit. After that, we start the songwriting process. We started in October. And in that process, I've kind of been more of a listening ear, kind of like a critical ear. I'm not much of a like a songwriter or lyricist or anything like that. I'm more of the arrangement and like musical side of it. Just because my instrument being drums, that's where I can kind of think a little bit more clearly. But we have some songs written now, and we're kind of moving more in that direction. And we definitely will be as this semester closes, next semester opens up, we'll be moving into that more. So a lot of the writing is actually, for our team especially, it's been pretty rough. Not in like a bad way, but it's kind of difficult, honestly. Worship writing is not very similar to a lot of other writing. So what happens is we are told to write our own songs on our own time. And then as soon as somebody feels like they have a song, or even just like part of a song, like a verse and a chorus, maybe even just a bridge or something like that, they'll bring it to the group and they'll play it for us once or something like that. And we'll listen to it. If we like it right away, we'll be like, yeah, we should work on that some more. If it's like really incomplete, then maybe they'll take it and work on it more. So a lot of it is kind of on your own at first. But as soon as you have a solid like chorus, bridge, or if you have a solid part of a song that you want to be a song, then from there we we'll spend a class period or even like a week breaking into groups, like into pairs or something like that, and we'll just focus on a song. Try to, hash out the rest of it. But as far as worship music goes, there's a lot of people on our team that are really good writers, but worship writing is just such a different world because you can't write from your own experience, really. You kind of have to write for everyone. Like, everyone has to be able to relate to it in not a very specific way all the time. Yeah. So that creates a really tough environment to be able to write creatively in. But even in that, we've had some really good songs that have been able to come from that, I think. And especially the struggle to do that. A lot of our songs deal with like the struggle of entering into worship or something like that. So like there's at least 2 of our songs already kind of address the whole like forget the rest of the world and then kind of come into Jesus's world for a little bit to get some worship going. So that's been definitely a main theme that we've struggled with as a group, I think, writing, but we've definitely been able to work through as well. And being able to, there's like a difference between able to be playing together and then being able to worship together. And that's, I think, been a big difference for us that we've kind of been able to enter into more this last time we played in chapel. We played in chapel 3 times already. And it's kind of just getting used to each other, kind of knowing where each other's natural. Because a lot of times that worship connection with people comes from where someone's coming from, like that's their natural like language to do something. So. And that's why a lot of times stuff sounds really forced from a lot of worship leaders, I think. But the more you get to play with people, the more you know like what their authentic gestures and performance tendencies are. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to pick up on that from me and Drew Briggs, our bassist, have been able to really connect, I think. It's probably a lot musically, but we've been able to more connect performance-wise, mainly because he's the closest one to me. But yeah. And then with like Jeremy, Taylor, Timo, and Becca, when they are up there worship leading, since I've been able to hear them sing more, and especially more candidly when we're in practice, you can kind of see where their heart's at a lot more, and that kind of helps you enter into worship, I think, from a bandmate point of view. Yeah. And that's been really helpful. So, I mean, that's what it all comes down to. I mean, everybody would say it. The main thing about worship is just being authentic with it and having it really coming from your heart. And being able to see where someone's heart is in a more intimate way, knowing them day by day kind of a thing, makes it a lot easier to perform together in that kind of an environment.
Sure.
Oh, the ending was so good.